Yeah.
All right, welcome into a very special crossover episode. Patriots Daily, Patriots Beat. Alex Barth back in Boston. Mike Kadlick, Taylor Kyles, Brian Hines out in Denver. The New England Patriots are going back to the Super Bowl. It's been 7 long years, but they beat the Broncos in the AFC Championship, and they will face the Seattle Seahawks in Super Bowl 60, a rematch of what I consider is the greatest game in terms of the level it is played, the greatest game in the history of the sport. Doesn't mean much. None of those players will be playing in this game, but it's kind of cool to think about. But gentlemen, you were there. You saw it. It was an ugly, nasty game. The second half, you really threw out all the X's and O's, and it was, hey, don't fall down, don't lose the ball. And the Patriots were better at that than the Broncos were, and because of it, they're going to the Super Bowl. Talk to us about the vibe around the team, the vibe at the stadium, what that was like when they clinched it and then the celebration.
Well, I think there were other times this postseason where they would win games and it still felt like, one more and there's still unfinished business. I will say there was some of that, but definitely a level of like, holy shit, we're going to the Super Bowl. And obviously there's a lot of hugging, like everybody very excited. The field was insane after. We were lucky we actually got to go on the field post-game. You had Jalen Hawkins dancing, Dubs in the chat, him with his family. It was Milton Williams' dad was losing his mind. He's like throwing money at the fans and everything. So the on-field atmosphere afterwards was one of the coolest things I've experienced in my life. And the locker room after was just really cool to see because we know how hard these guys work. They wouldn't be here otherwise. And to see them kind of being able to enjoy that with each other was really special.
A lot of like the schedule talk and everyone said we didn't play anyone and the Broncos have the best offensive line in the league. The Patriots defensive line took a lot of shots at that. And they played awesome today, Barmore, Milton Williams also. So it was just great.
The best thing I heard in the locker room was conversation between Christian Ellis and Jack Gibbons, and they're looking at each other like, can you believe we're here right now, bro? They're like, no, like this is crazy. Gibbons looks him dead in the eye, goes, this is like a fever dream. Like I have no idea what's going on.
Bradbury
right
called
now.
it a simulation.
Yeah,
we're in a simulation right now. This is not real.
And so it's a cool, like, I don't know why I'm gonna pull out the word dichotomy right now, but like there's two sides of it where you can't believe it, but they also believed in themselves so much to actually get here, which is super cool to see. So, no, the vibes were good. And if you've watched, Vrabel's the video of Vrabel in the locker room after the game, he was obviously very excited, throwing the Warriors, the Road Warriors out there. But they still have one more job to do, obviously, which is the Seahawks, which I know we'll get to in a bit. But
yeah, I just on this game as we wrap it up, people can check out it. It's not up yet, but it'll be up soon. My reaction pod with Matt Dahl for 98.5, and I'm talking about the game, and I kind of found myself. Look, they won 10-7. It was ugly. But I found myself saying, like, I was actually encouraged by a lot of what they did. I thought Drake Maye, for what this game was, it's not going to look good in the box score. He had one bad throw to Pop Douglas early and then came back the next play and zipped one into Matt Collins. Like, even the one to Diggs, it's not great. It's also a really good play by the safety. And then they needed him to run, and he ran well. I thought the offensive line, there were a couple of blemishes. Certainly, Will Campbell had a bad cut block. He got called for a foul start. Morgan Moses got beat once. Jared Wilson got beat once or twice. But overall, especially for the defensive line, like I thought a step forward. Maybe that's by technicality because they haven't been good the last couple weeks, but I thought a step forward. The pass rush, the front, it was mostly with the blitz, but got a little bit of pressure. Rushing forward again against a good offensive line. So I don't know. You guys tell me, like, am I nuts and ugly again, we're here to break down the game. I almost throw out the whole second half. Again, that's just don't slip in the snow. And that's it. That's really all you're doing at that point. They had Drake Maye purposely throw a ball away on 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9 from his own end zone just because they wanted to get to the punt. But, like, I don't know. Am I nuts for saying they need to be better to beat Seattle? But, like, that game in some ways was a step forward on both sides of the ball.
I thought so. That was one of my bigger takeaways was that this is the 3rd game in a row where Drake Maye doesn't play great. A lot of what it's making the plays when you need to, which obviously is huge. Calling a zone number at the end was insane. I think we're all still trying to process that.
I don't know how I feel about that. Like, it worked, so yeah, but is that one of those, like, good job, don't do it again kind of things?
We were saying how mad Josh McDaniels was probably.
He was probably like, his face probably just dropped when he saw him, like, peel out on the bootleg. Like, I don't know.
Credit to Mondre also for selling it. I thought because they had the botch snap earlier on the Statue of Liberty, so I was kind of expecting Ramondre to be like, "Oh my God, are you okay? Like, what just happened?"
Going to like grab for the ball, like, what are you doing? So,
but he didn't. He sold. And to be fair, we look back, there were 10 defenders in the box. They literally were going all out to stop the run. So it was risky, and I hope we get a chance to ask some more questions, or at least there are more questions asked about that play and how people felt about it.
Josh McDaniels presser this week.
Yes, that will be very good. But again, Drake making
Josh
the plays when he
McDaniels
needs to.
will be sitting with us for Drake Maye's presser. Yeah, Drake, question.
Yeah, literally. What the hell were you doing on that play, bro? So no, and to your point, as far as Drake's performance, like 3 games in a row, not great. Ball hit the ground again on that one play, only completed, I think, half his passes, if that. But you said it there. He made the plays when it mattered most, whether it was that, that third down call when he called his own number, whether it was, another one where he runs for 25 plus yards and gets them into field goal range, like little things like, and the throw to Matt Collins, Barth, that you mentioned too, where he hasn't been on all day. He missed a couple key throws, but they call the flea flicker. They need a chunk play, and he drops it right into the breadbasket. So still has to get better before, 2 weeks from now. But I mean, overall, he's still, when you need it most and when you need the kid dialed in, he's going to go make a play for you.
It's just doing what it takes to win. And it's some unexpected names too. Like you mentioned Matt Collins, like he just comes back from injured reserve, 2 20+ yard games at key times, like in the intermediate areas, which we talked about, like where they really missed him in the passing game. Barth, you were talking about the pass rush. Elijah Ponder, like team high 4 pressures, tied Milton Williams, that 4-man rush. He was helping that, going against some good tackles too, right? And Garrett Bowles. And then even special teams, like it was a point of emphasis on special teams. I know the stat sheet doesn't look good for Bryce Behringer, but it was a point of emphasis to not let Marvin Mims take over that game, especially in the second half when the conditions were what they were and the Broncos offense couldn't move the ball. But even early on when they were punting, to him and not just kicking it out of bounds, Brendan Schooler, a couple great tackles right off the bat, just
forced a fair catch or two as well. Yeah.
So it just some, key guy, like unexpected guys stepping up and just, really doing whatever it takes to win that game.
Speaking of unexpected players, Leonard freaking Taylor might have had the play of the game, getting a hand on that field goal. Like that was insane. And obviously you're not expecting it, but a guy who they picked up late or mid-season when the Jets cut him, and you could tell that he was doing the right things behind the scenes, because Mike Vrabel has spoken pretty highly of Leonard Taylor, gone out of his way to mention him and how he's like, oh yeah, no, as soon as we can, like he's going to play. And you see why, like even looking at the tape, once he played enough when I got, because the last 2 games were a little fluky, like really bad offensive lines. But when you do look at the whole like body of work that he's had since he started playing, the effort that he shows, like you can tell he's a dude who works very hard and is very talented. So cool that even though on the stat sheet, I'm not sure if there were a lot of big plays for Leonard Taylor, defensively comes up huge for the special teams in a game where if that goes to overtime, I'm shitting bricks. Like I would have been very nervous if that game had to keep going, but that was a huge difference maker. So credit to Leonard Taylor, maybe making the play of the game.
Just a quick thought too on the overtime thing. It's one of those ones where, you tie the game up and then whoever gets the ball first, you don't know what happens, a fluke play, a 3-and-out. And then Will Lutz, he missed the kick that Taylor blocked, but he's one of the better kickers in football in that environment, the high altitude, what have you. That could easily have been a 16 or a 13-10 Broncos win if that wasn't blocked by Taylor.
So a couple things on that. The Leonard Taylor thing, and they didn't have practice squad elevations back then, but that's such like an original Patriots dynasty thing. This guy they signed middle of the season, who most people at home probably don't even know who he is.
Off the Jets too.
Comes out with the field goal block.
And also, Barthy, I can add some context, by the way, because I was there when he did his postgame interview. Yeah. He was kind of late. He was a late addition. He wasn't originally in that unit. He was like, yeah, they called me. And I asked if there was like a coaching point that he had gotten that paid off in the game. I think he said last week he ran somebody over or something like that. I think in practice, it was something like he said he jumped her and the coaches were like, you can't do, or I'm sorry, I'm kind of forgetting it, but he was a late addition and took to the coaching point and improved on something he maybe hadn't done as well before. And then comes up huge in the AFC Championship game. So like to your point, it is just it's like a Malcolm Butler kind of situation where it's a guy that no one is really talking about, but comes up huge in a big moment.
We have a bite on Taylor. You want to play?
I just jumped in the air and I got a taste of the ball.
What was that feeling like?
But it was exciting, man. Just the rush and the adrenaline coming through my body, knowing that I helped the team.
And what's
again, that's such a classic old school Patriots dynasty type thing. The other thing you mentioned, the missed field goals. Mike Vrabel So first of all, I got to take a little victory lap on a couple of you guys.
Go for it, baby.
I love a Barth
Let's
victory lap.
go.
Do you remember? Let's go back to this time. Maybe it was a little more than a year ago. Ben Johnson versus Mike Vrabel. You got to get an offensive coach. An offensive coach is going to design a fun offense. And what did I talk about? You need a guy who knows how to manage the game. Also, by the way, 2 defensive coaches in the Super Bowl.
Sure.
2 young defensive coaches. I'm going to throw that out. Mike Vrabel coached. Mike Vrabel
coordinators
coached circles around Sean Payton in this game. And Sean Payton's decision to not take the points versus Mike Vrabel in a playoff league-wide that has been defined by the conversation, when do and you not take the points. There's some coaches that would have gone for that 4th and 5. And I never really expected Mike Vrabel to do that, but there are other coaches that would. And Sean Payton going for the 4th and 1, not getting it. Mike Vrabel kicking the field goal on the 4th and 5. That's the ball game right there.
Yeah.
That and a dumb challenge are the ball game right there. So what was that? I missed that. What was that?
No,
they did attempt a 4th and 1 in the red zone.
And then that weird tush push was just a disaster with Milton Williams.
It was. I hated that. That's fair. I hated that. Milton Williams pushed the wrong guy the wrong way. But again,
the point of the game it was, but I feel like they were, I think it was in the second half. I felt like they were going for it on 4th down. They ran it on 3rd and 7.
Yes.
And then they got stuffed, and then they ultimately kicked the field goal, which I think that was one of the misses for Borregales. But
it was. But I just go back to I thought Mike Vrabel had his finger on the pulse of this game much better than Sean Payton did. There's also, before the interception, Sean Payton tries to sub with the clock running. Mike Vrabel gets a chance to match. Not only did that drain a ton of time off the clock, by the time the referee lets him snap the ball, there's 3 seconds left on the play clock. Stidham has to rush that snap. I don't know if that's why he threw the interception. Definitely didn't help. He felt a little bit rushed. So
I will say live, because I was watching, because the whole thing felt funky. It wasn't the first time that Vrabel had taken advantage of them substituting late.
Yeah.
Because I honestly, live, I was confused. I was like, wait, why are they moving so slow? So they were kind of jogging off the field to bleed the clock. You could see when Stidham got ready to throw, the receiver was not even close to looking for the ball. Gonzo was looking at him the entire way. And as soon as he threw it, I was like, this is going to be a pick. That receiver has no idea what's happening right now. And you can even see on the broadcast that once Gonzo is kind of going to track it, the receiver hasn't turned yet and is like, oh, he threw it to me? So, even live, you could tell that Stidham should not have done that, and it felt like he was kind of yipped up because obviously the way the game was going and the fact he knew that he didn't have a lot of time and, that rush nature of the play.
And on the coaching,
just to go back, I think Vrabel coached a good game, and I think this is part of the reason he was such a sought-after candidate. His understanding of the way game flow works and all of that, there's not a lot of guys that can do that. And a lot of these guys, some defensive guys too, but a lot of these offense guys, their nose is buried too deep in the play sheet to figure it out. That's just the reality of it.
The way the team has come together, and we talk about the 4 H's, and it sounds super cliche, but they fight for each other. They play hard for each other. The offensive coaches, Sean McVay excluded, some of those guys are just, they're not culture builders. They're just play callers, and they have everybody else kind of do everything. So, give Vrabel credit there. But on Sean Payton's decision-making, though, too, in that game, Barth, and we talked about it on our postgame show where he and really the entire media conglomerate of the NFL was like, no, Jarrett Stidham can do this shit in this game. And Payton pumped up his guy, and he should have, and rightfully so, right? But on that 4th and 1, if they do get it and they go up 14-0 in this game, that's a complete game changer. So, and Stidham was playing well to that point. It's not like they were trying to throw shit against the wall and see if it sticks. He had the goal line touchdown to Cortland Sutton. He had the deep ball to Marvin Mims in his pocket at that point. He was playing comfortably at that point. So it's one of those ones where, it looks like shit if you don't get it. And if you get it, you look like a genius. So I understand taking the points in that situation, in that circumstance with a backup quarterback, but you're also at home. You're playing super well right now with that momentum. I didn't hate the call, but it looks a lot worse now that it's over, obviously, and they didn't get it.
And last thing I'll say, from this, we talk about the decision-making, everything. Mike Vrabel has a secret kind of card up his hand. It's John Stretch Striker.
Yeah, right.
When he's making these decisions, a lot of the time, Stretch is in his ear, telling him what he thinks he should do. So obviously, Mike Vrabel deserves some credit, but a lot of that game management stuff is Stretch. So we gotta give him credit as well.
It's a good point, Taylor. It's a good point. It's a fair mention. Like, I think you talk about the head coach as reflective of the coaching staff as a whole. But we know Stretch is a big part of that. And he outdueled, you know who the Broncos guy is for that? When do you guys put it in the group chats this week?
Evan Rothstein. Evan Rothstein.
So it was funny.
Old friend, Evan Rothstein.
I had a Broncos writer on this morning. I apologize. I can't remember his name. He covers Broncos for The Athletic. And we asked him, like, hey, has Sean Payton been better about the game management stuff? And he says a lot of the players have credited Evan Rothstein for getting them ready for those situations. Long cry from being the quarterback's coach here in New England. But I don't know, maybe his headset wasn't working getting down to Sean Payton before that fourth down. We're going to be back with more, but we got to hear from our friends first real quick.
Yep, we're talking about Prize Picks right now because, as you all know, this episode and every episode of the Patriots Daily Patriots Beat crossover is brought to you by Prize Picks. The big game is almost here. The Patriots are in it. It is Patriots versus Seahawks, and there's no better way to cash in during America's biggest sporting event than Prize Picks, where it always feels good to be right. And since the big game is right around the corner, that also means it's your last chance to get in on the football action before next season. So close the season out right with Prize Picks. Drake Maye, Sam Darnold, JSN, Christian Gonzalez, Stephon Diggs, you know the big names. You can put them all together in a lineup for two Sundays from now in the big game, only on Prize Picks. They also have a new feature. It is called Early Payout. So if your player gets off to a hot start, you now have the option to cash out those winnings before the game even finishes. So download the Prize Picks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Again, that's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right.
All right, before we move on to some initial thoughts on the Seahawks, just one more for me. I don't know if you guys have anything else you want to hit on very briefly, but I thought Mac Hollins looked good for how much he was on the field, for how much they threw the ball, and he's blocking a little bit too, obviously, but a reminder of what he brings and a reminder of how crucial he's going to be. They're going to need him against the Seattle defense. I thought he had, for his first game in over a month, I thought he had a solid game.
Yeah, Mac was great. Obviously hauling in the big one on the flea flicker. You saw him get in there in the run game a little bit too. And, frankly, when they signed Mac Hollins at the time, I never thought that, well, I mean, obviously I didn't think they would be on the doorstep of the Super Bowl, but I never thought going into the AFC Championship game, waiting on his injury status would be such a big deal. And when, he finally cleared, it kind of hit me. It was like, this is Mac Hollins we're talking about. A couple years ago with Philly and Buffalo, he was I don't want to say a rotational guy, but kind of just he never
special team.
Yeah, special teamer, like it's Mac Hollins, right? But he's really been a crucial part of this team, and you saw it a couple of times today. So we'll definitely, especially against the Seahawks defense that we know and we'll talk about here, can be a vigorous bunch, if you will.
If I can grab another victory lap real quick before you continue, you mentioned him with the Bills. Drake Maye is going to go to the Super Bowl with his top two receivers being Stephon Diggs and Mac Hollins. So I don't want to hear shit about Josh Allen having enough. And by the way, that's not my take. People have said that on Twitter. Don't clip that. Don't
All right, fine. Yeah, but you deserve it. You deserve this.
Okay, so clip this. Drake Maye Super Bowl before Josh Allen. It took 2 years. How about that?
How about that shit? Keep going. What else do you have to say?
That's it. I just want to point that out. My buddy who's a Bills fan who told me after the Patriots beat the Bills that I'm ready to say it. The Bills who told me after the Bills beat the Patriots said, I'm ready to say it. The Bills are going to win the Super Bowl this year. Texted me in the middle of this game and said that the Bills would beat either of these teams. Maybe they would have if we made it, but I guess we'll never know.
Nope.
Another one, Sam Darnold is making the Super Bowl before draft classmates Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson.
And Josh Rosen.
Yeah. Thank you. Good.
Is he like not even to be mean? Is he like showing insurance right now?
Something like that. Yeah. It was that was Baker too, right? Was the number one that year?
Yeah.
Yep.
For Baker.
Yep. And now
that's a good one too. There you go. I just wanted to mix that in. Anyway, any more? Mac Hollins had a good game. He deserves credit.
Good for Stephon Diggs too. Like obviously, such a long 11 years in the league, coming off the injury. 32 years old. Just he was emotional after the game. Like just happy for him, and you're good to see that.
Also, the veterans on the offensive line. Oh, sorry.
So I thought it was interesting. Somebody asked Diggs this week about the famous picture of him. I doubt we can pull it up. We probably don't have it ready. But like, if you're a football fan, you've seen it. They lose. That was the AFC Championship game, right? That
Yeah,
wasn't a
it's
divisional.
Kansas City. Yeah.
They lose the AFC Championship in Kansas City when he's with Buffalo, and there's a picture of him standing looking at the celebration, and the idea that looking at that's kind of motivating him, and obviously he never got over the hump. He hadn't even been back to the AFC Championship game until today. There you go. Brian kind of has. That's washed out and far from the camera, but we get the idea. But he was asked about that, and he really shot it down as like that was another point in my life that that's not who I am now. It's it's part of me, but it's not who I don't remember the exact answer, but it was a really insightful answer. He could have really easily kind of been like, yeah, I'm a competitor, I want to win. And I thought he really gave us some insight into his mindset. And so for him to have this moment, it, like you said, 11 years in the league, he's finally going to get there. You hope he wins it. And by the way, if he wins a Super Bowl, I know Darrelle Revis is remembered more as a Jet, and who knows how many more years Diggs is going to play here. But like, does Diggs go down as a Patriot if he wins Super Bowl here, even for everything he did in Minnesota and Buffalo?
Like the Darrelle Revis situation.
Yeah,
but maybe. But like, okay,
a handful more of guys who have come to the Patriots and just been a Super Bowl champion.
Not guys.
I don't want to get too far ahead of it, but like he has the
Harrison lost, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
That was the Eagles.
He has the Minnesota Miracle with the Vikings. That he will always be a foundational part of that organization.
Yeah,
he's now been to a Super Bowl with the Patriots. I don't know what to say.
He's got to play more than 1 year here, I think, if you consider him a Patriot.
But I'm saying, like, did you say what did he do with the Bills?
I'm being facetious.
It was absolutely
that hatred runs deep.
He was really good, and they let him down. They couldn't get over the top with him. So anyway, that was thought. You guys got any other
shout out? Also, offensive line, but also a lot of the veterans on the Patriots, to be honest, because it feels like a lot of guys on their offense are guys that were afterthoughts or who like had to overcome a lot of adversity. Garrett Bradbury is somebody that nobody on the beat was frankly very excited to see start. We were talking about like, it's going to be Ben Brown, Jared Wilson going to beat him out, and he's been one of the better pass protecting centers in football, and they've used him so much better in the run game, and that's allowed him to play to his ability. Mike Kadlick, one of the oldest tenured Patriots on the team. Like, oh my God, him smiling in the Patriots postgame video is adorable. But honestly, like, think of how much crap has been talked about Mike Kadlick, like his weight, and he's up and down, he's moving to right tackle, going to guard, like all this stuff that's gone to him, happened to him as a Patriot. Now he's going to the Super Bowl. Morgan Moses has been battling his absolute tail off. Maybe not an afterthought like the other guys. You're talking about a guy in his mid-30s who we know is banged up and is still playing quality football.
And he's never been to a Super Bowl, right? I know he'd been to a conference championship. He's never been to a Super Bowl, right?
Yeah, no, he's never been to a Super Bowl. Who? Morgan Moses.
Well, no,
was it with the Ravens?
Yeah. I believe so.
Against the Chiefs.
And then Mondre, let's talk about Mondre, dude. Ramondre has been one of the most important players in this playoff run, and really since around the Giants game, where you started to see his play really pick up. The fumbles, like obviously really unfortunate losses of his father and his best friend in the span of like a year, maybe a little more. Like on a human level, I really cannot imagine what Ramondre goes through. Like all the press conferences and interviews where we talk to him and ask him the same questions. How do you stop fumbling? What do you have to do? Where's your mindset? And they were valid questions because it was a nerve-wracking issue. But the fact that he's gone from that to kind of carrying the offense in some ways, even more than Drake Maye at times, has been incredible. Hunter Henry, we could throw in there. Like, it's very cool how many of those guys have
so that's the thing here for me.
The guys who have been here like the last 2 years through like the 4-win seasons, Pop even.
Yeah, Pop comes
Kayshawn.
That whole 23 rookie, like Gonzo, Kayshawn, Bryce, Pop, like all those guys.
So I go back to the guys who were here for 21, and there's not that many of them, but especially Ramondre Stevenson and Hunter Henry, who've been good players, and because you thought you had it in 21. And maybe on the outside we knew they didn't, and there was some fool's gold there, but in the locker room, like that team believed in what they were. That team believed that they were going in the right direction, and ultimately we know they weren't. But I think to get a whiff of that, and then go through what they went through, 7-9, back-to-back 4-win seasons, now to be here, and the two guys I look at, I know there's a couple of like Mike Onwenu's in there, Anthony Jennings is in there, but Hunter Henry and Ramondre Stevenson were such great players during that season, and have continued to be some of the better players since, and guys that I think when you win 4 games back-to-back years, a lot of people talk about just tearing down the roster. And okay, well, you can't keep any of it. You got to move on. Nothing salvageable.
And they did that for a majority of it too.
And they did. And those were 2 guys that I always thought deserved to be in the conversation and be a part of the solution. And 2 guys I think wanted to be a part of the solution. Hunter Henry had a chance to leave and didn't. So to see those guys, the faith that the organization, not just the faith the organization had in them, but the faith they had in the organization, to see that hit a payoff is pretty cool on a human level.
No, I'm with you.
It was the year after that, but Marcus Jones too.
Yeah.
That's a guy there was a lot of talk this offseason. Like, how does he fit in the defense going into a contract year? Yeah. And he
who said that?
Was
that dumbass.
Was a captain. He had an unbelievable season. Got a contract.
You were right on a couple other guys, Taylor. That's fine. Mr. underestimating them with 13 wins here. That's 17, by the way, Taylor.
And even a guy who got
17
injured a couple times throughout the beginning of his career too, Marcus Jones. So, Barth, you'll like this. I got one piece of insight into the Empower Field at Mile High Stadium. I told you on the postgame show already, but
I don't care.
No, went into the bathroom during the final drive. I had to use the restroom, and
during the final drive.
Yeah, man's got to go when a man's got to go, dude.
Not during the final drive of the AFC Championship.
I had to be just let me finish the damn story.
He didn't know what happened during the game. I'm pretty sure there was a commercial break right before that.
It was. I went in. It was a commercial. I went in. Patriots start going. They hand the ball to Ramondre. Local Denver radio is on the speakers in the bathroom, and they start talking about Ramondre Stevens' fumbling issues, trying to jinx him, saying, "Oh, he's had some trouble. He's had 12 fumbles over the last couple seasons. What do you know?" They hold on to it and go get the dub. So I thought you'd like that, given your angst for opposing fan bases.
I guess I just wouldn't admit that you spent
all that. He's like, all right, I
gave
get
the
that.
bathroom.
Information.
I had to take a piss.
Cool story, but you were in the bathroom for the last drive of the AFC Championship game.
Yeah, that was a choice by you. Did we do 1 or 2 reads yet? We only did the one, right? Let's do the other one.
Now
We'll
you're
talk
going
about
me to
Seattle.
Don't do it.
No.
All right, we don't need to do it.
Oh,
all right. Producer says do it. So, and we got the stakes, boys.
Oh,
Taylor can go to the bathroom now because it's not the final drive of the AFC Championship.
I'll be back.
Steaks, throw it up.
Meat time.
What do you got?
He is missing meat time though. That's close.
There it is. Taylor's missing meat time.
I love meat time.
I can still hear meat time.
He still hears meat time from the bathroom. We're starting this year off strong and easier and more delicious with these premium portion proteins from Omaha Steaks. Stay satisfied, get energy, and fuel your routine, with these premium pre-packaged meats delivered to your door from Omaha Steaks. They are handcrafted, USDA certified, tender steaks, gourmet burgers, versatile chicken and pork, and so much more. They have an unmatched variety of high-quality proteins that everybody loves. And right now, you can taste the difference by getting an extra $35 off at omahasteaks.com using promo code Patriots at checkout. Again, head over to omahasteaks.com, OMAHA steaks.com, promo code Patriots. Terms apply. See site for details.
Are we back?
On there. There he is. There we go.
We got Taylor back.
Yeah, he never left. Back like you never left.
All right, Seahawks. I'm guessing you guys saw the end of that game.
That was BS.
You were in the bathroom.
Wasn't a great story.
So did you miss the end of Seahawks Rams too?
Yeah, actually, we didn't see it.
We were carrying 50,000 pounds of equipment.
Yeah.
All right, I'll give you something else. Well, let's start here. Before that game, who did you want to see the Patriots face in the Super Bowl, or who did you think was the easier matchup? You got to go back to no bias of knowing who it is. Did you want the Rams or the Seahawks? And acknowledging that these are maybe the 2 best teams in the NFL. There is no easy option here.
I liked Rams because I thought that their defense, secondary especially, was a little bit more gettable. I thought that you could throw on them. Obviously, that defensive line is nasty, but both of these teams have a really good defensive line. So I did feel like they would be able to have some more success against the Rams, even their offense. Like, that's the thing where the Rams offense does scare you more. But honestly, the way that Seahawks defense hits, I know there are liabilities, and I feel like as I dive deeper, I may feel a little bit more confident, but I did not want them to play the Seahawks.
Yeah, the only thing that would make you want to play the Seahawks probably was the Sam Darnold factor, right?
Yeah.
Like Sam Darnold, not Matt Stafford at all. So I probably would have
Yeah.
leaned Rams, though, still with the defense Taylor mentioned. I thought that's a easier defense to move the football.
The only thing that the Rams, not the only thing, but the big thing the Rams have, like, they've been there before, right? McVay and Stafford have won the Super Bowl. They have one under their belt. They know what it takes. They know what the 2 weeks feels like. They know what the halftime, like all that shit that you may not really think about. They've done it, and they've gotten over the hump before. Where Seahawks, at least on offense and a head coach, younger, still kind of green. Defense is obviously filthy, but I mean, I'm still having a hard time thinking Sam Darnold's going to win a Super Bowl, guys.
So
But he's playing
It's
well.
because of Sam Darnold.
I
Like,
know,
it is impossible.
I know.
Well, but so here's the thing, and this has been, it's interesting because what the NFC Championship was here, and it'll probably honestly be a conversation with the Patriots and the Seahawks too. The last two Super Bowls were, what would you rather have? What's better? The coach and the quarterback and a like an okay roster, not a bad roster, but not a great roster, or a loaded roster, but not a bad quarterback, but a serviceable quarterback, right? A guy that's kind of middle of the pack, isn't going to, and I know people are sensitive about Jalen Hurts and all that. Like, he's not, we're talking about the guy, Mahomes, Burrow, Allen, Lamar, Drake May. We can put him in there now, like that class of quarterback, right? I did say Josh Allen. We can put him in that conversation, even though he hasn't been here either. Most of those guys haven't been here. Drake May now has, or will have been. That's kind of the debate, is the coach and the quarterback versus the more complete team. And that's what the NFC Championship was. And I think the Patriots roster is good. I think it's better than people give it credit for. Get ready for it to be framed that way for the next 2 weeks, because we know people underrate this Patriots roster. Sure. We know they do, and they're going to do it. And objectively, the Seahawks do have a better roster. I think who had, let me ask you, we'll look at it this way. All around roster, this year's Seahawks or last year's Eagles?
Last year's Eagles.
Yeah, that Eagles.
Bro, they had entire hockey lines.
Yeah.
That's true. It's a little bit
very good players. Milton Williams was considered a rotational player.
Yeah,
right, that's right. So it's a little bit closer, but I think that's the interesting part of the conversation. I kind of didn't want to face the coach and quarterback. I kind of looked at it and said, McVay and Stafford have been here. They're going to know what to do. They can make up for some of the faults. And don't get me wrong, I'll take Drake May in a shootout with anybody. But it's not a guarantee against Stafford and McVay. That's going to be very difficult. There's very little margin for error. If Mike Vrabel can step up and the coaching staff can step up and turn this into a shootout between Drake May and Sam Darnold, I feel a lot better about that. If those two are going punch for punch. And I don't know if this is just Patriots, footy pajamas being on or whatever. Doesn't it kind of feel like Drake May's due for a good game and Sam Darnold's due for a stinker? There's no X's and O's behind any of that. None. But doesn't it kind of feel that way?
Yes.
I mean, yeah, and also Drake hasn't played in good weather in a month.
Yes.
That's pretty significant. Obviously, you'd like to see him execute better, but I don't think it's a coincidence that he's had 3 of probably his worst games as a thrower. At least they're up there in terms of some of the worst. And it's been snow, it's been rain, it's been wind. So yeah, I think in Santa Clara, I feel like you're going to get a very different version of Drake May.
We don't have a look ahead forecast that far, do we?
It's nice.
Yeah, no, it's
sunny, 60. That can obviously change.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah,
this is for 2 weeks from now. This is the forecast for Super Bowl Sunday.
Yeah.
Then again, the forecast for this game was completely different, also. So
that's true. But Denver's a little tougher climate than.
Yeah.
Although we learned that the altitude was not an issue because it was rainy and snowy and wet outside.
Shout out our Uber
negates the effects of altitude.
You guys, the cold makes the air thinner.
He's pretting like he already knew.
Yeah.
Okay, Barth. Okay.
I didn't know that. I thought that was common knowledge.
On everybody's fun
moisture.
facts over here.
I love going to a new city and learning fun facts about it and being a nerd about it. I asked Evan about when we went to Las Vegas.
Explode. Did you know that the trees can explode?
I did know that. No, ask Evan about when we went to Vegas for the Shrine Bowl, and I wouldn't shut up about the beam that comes out of the.
This is so
Oh, well, you're 3 for 3. Go ahead, Barth.
I don't understand what I just did. Hosting when 3 people are in a separate room is not easy. Okay.
We were just trying to have our fun facts, and you shot them all down.
No, keep going. All right. So the tree exploding. That's a good one.
Those are our only 2.
We're out of fun facts. Move on, Barth.
Well, you guys are still there for a little bit more, so you can pick up some more. You're going against somebody who loves learning stupid stuff about cities.
Fair.
Again, ask Evan when we were in Vegas how much I talked about the beam that shoots up from the Luxor. That was my favorite thing.
Yeah, we brought a pool noodle to a knife fight. That's fair.
What's your favorite fun fact from another city?
Oh, I think the beam might be the coolest. It's something it's the brightest man-made light that exists or something like that. They don't do it full brightness anymore because it was a problem with planes.
Can you
or something.
look at it?
Well, it goes directly up from it's the casino that's the pyramid. So you can't look directly into it because you'd have to be above it. Yeah, here. It is the most powerful man-made light in the world.
Interesting.
Nice.
These lights in here.
Cool story.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's sick, bro.
Yeah, we knew that.
Yeah.
This is what I've been doing radio since 8 a.m. this morning. All right. I am trying to finish this up. I still got to go shovel my car out too.
Oh, God.
So,
boy.
But we'll finish up. Seahawks, the big matchup for me in this game, the thing that's going to be the most fun, I think. I mentioned that, I think of Patriots Seahawks. I think of Super Bowl 49. That is the game being played at the highest level that it's ever been played. If we're going to sniff that in this game, Christian Gonzalez on Jackson Smith-Njigba.
Oh, yeah.
That matchup is going to rule. Yeah. I don't know if you guys have any others that stand out to you. Reek Woolen, he goes by now, on Mac Hollins could be fun because I just think that's an interesting, the athleticism, the physicality, the size, but JSN on Gonzalez is going to be, Taylor and Evan, when that all 22 is out, are going to turn down the lights, take their clothes off, light a couple candles, and just watch that thing on a loop. Have you been
watching me, Barth?
What's that?
That's that draft too, right? 23 draft.
Oh, they were the same draft.
Yeah.
That's going to be that's going to be a hell of a matchup.
Oregon, I don't think was Big Ten at the time.
Oh, shit.
No.
That's right. Whatever that means.
It's a good thought.
RIP to Pac-12.
Yeah, I was so close.
Well, last year, did Gonzo ever match up with him last year?
Yeah. Oh, did he? The only player I remember in that game was
he had a lot of DK. But,
there was that miscommunication between him and was it Duggar? And DK goes 60-something yards.
Yeah. Oh, no, but I do remember specifically Gonzo followed DK around the entire game because he went from pressing him and being like, I'm getting cooked, and then just started playing off. But yeah, he completely followed DK that game.
All right. Well, what do you guys think of that matchup?
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
It was either, and also I think better for the Patriots because honestly, I don't think they would have had Gonzo shadow Puka. Yeah. Mike Vrabel's talked about the reasons he will and won't shadow, and he's mentioned sometimes offenses motion so much. I remember even can I say this? Oh, he works for another team now. Maybe I remember Mike Pellegrino has kind of mentioned how with all the motion they did, it just wasn't realistic for them to be able to shadow and have everybody know what they were doing consistently. This offense doesn't really do that quite as much, so I think it's an easier matchup for JSN and Christian Gonzalez if he's shadowing him the whole game. And plus,
the Rams game last year, he didn't shadow him because wasn't that the one where they kept putting Gonzo on the third wide receiver? I remember they did something weird with the coverages in that game against
the Rams game.
Yeah,
no, they ran a lot of the nub formations, and then Gonzo would just, because they were playing Gonzo on the boundary, he would just end up covering a tight end.
So frustrating.
Yeah.
It made more sense watching the tape, but I remember live being like, this is impossible that this is happening right now. But
any other players on the Seahawks you guys are as we kind of get ready for this prep that you're zeroed in on either side of the ball?
Ken Walker is awesome.
Yeah.
He's
going to be hard.
Player. They do the whole Charbonnet thing, 50-50 split, but he tore his ACL, so he'll obviously be out. So a lot of Ken Walker. We didn't get to watch much of the NFC Championship, but just looking at the box score, it didn't seem like they ran great today, but it's a good rushing attack. The Patriots run defense has been better since they got healthy, even though, Spillane went out today. So we'll see with him, but, slowing down Ken Walker, I think will be big. If you can take Ken Walker and JSN, obviously easier said than done, and make him go to Rashid Shaheed and the Cooper Kupps and the AJ Barners of the world, that would be a great place to live in.
my day 3 draft crush that year, AJ Barner. I drafted.
There's so many draft crushes in this game. I was a big Reek Woolen guy. Taylor, Mike, you guys got anybody you're looking at?
Devin Witherspoon for me. I think that if there's one guy, kind of like the Riley Moss of this team, why the Patriots didn't throw Riley Moss more in this game, I have no idea. Why you're throwing 2 deep shots to Pat Surtain, I have no idea. But Devin Witherspoon is a guy that feels like early on, maybe that could be a good matchup for a Kyle Williams, a Kayshon Boutte, even a Matt Collins if he's healthier. So that's one that I'm going to be looking a little bit deeper into as we get closer to the game.
Nick Amenwari and Reek Woolen, they went out a little bit today. Is that right?
Oh yeah, because Reek got that really. It was. They should not have called that. They should not have called that taunting. But he's talking crap, which was so stupid. He's talking crap to the Rams sideline while the official is standing right there. Like, should the guy have thrown the flag? Probably not. Was that an insane lack of awareness by Reek Woolen? Absolutely yes. And I think Amenwari was completely right to be like, bro, what are you doing? Like, this
if the Seahawks don't win that game, that's the biggest talking point coming at championship weekend.
100%. But long story short, he's a good young rookie who's showing his talent, obviously super athletic. So, their whole secondary with obviously Witherspoon, Julian Love, and some other of those guys can really cover.
He lets them live in nickel. So I don't know if the Pats have a 6-0 line, if they just stick with their nickel stuff, that would be an interesting kind of chess match.
So I'll give you one more. I mean, not a underrated name by any means, but I just look at the matchup and this guy stands out to me maybe more than anybody else on their defense, frankly, is Leonard Williams. They got, Zach Allen didn't do much to wreck the game today, which good on the Patriots because he's a really good interior player, obviously. So is Leonard Williams. And I just, with the way Jared Wilson struggled and just knowing what interior pressure can do to an offense, Leonard Williams is going to be somebody I have circled the next 2 weeks as somebody who could potentially be a major problem for the Patriots.
Yeah, this is the second straight loaded defensive line that they're going to play where you got to get the ball out quick. You got to be multidimensional because if you just get into a straight drop back game, it's going to look a lot like the playoffs have looked for the Patriots where, it's – I don't want to say Drake's constantly under fire, but when teams know that the pass is coming, you end up seeing him get taken down quite a bit, holding on to the football, things like that. So you cannot be one-dimensional against these guys.
All right. Anybody else? We're just kind of vibing at this point. Anybody else got any more thoughts? I think we all – well, what time is it for you guys? Aren't caught up to Western time, right? You still feel like it's midnight?
9:50 still feels early.
All right. Well,
who am I kidding?
We got to go burn the town down.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
There you go. So that'll do it for us on this crossover.
So wrap this up, please.
we got 3,000 people tuned in. Appreciate it. Wow. All right. They just left.
Here we go.
Is that real?
He was like, all right, bye, losers.
I didn't do that. Mike Kadlick, Taylor Kyles, Brian Hines, SI.com, CLNSmedia.com, PatsPulpit.com. We will have a ton more coming for you. The next two and a half weeks are going to be nuts, and make sure you subscribe. Patriots Press Pass. We'll have it all for you. Me and Brian will have a recap whenever these guys manage to get back from Denver. Mike and Taylor, I'm sure, will have more shows whenever they manage to get back from Denver. But it's a Super Bowl week, so get back soon because we got a lot to do. But like Mike Vrabel said, definitely enjoy it tonight. For the guys, I'm Alex Barth. Thanks for tuning in. We'll talk to you next time.